Now, I look back at that previous video and it was only 10 minutes. So let's do something that will take up a little bit more time. And as I said, I wanted to do something with the heading and everything and do some text and box stuff, whatever. Let me just do that. Okay, so with the heading or with any text or what have you, what you can do is if you look, it's on the left side. It's not really all that impressive. If somebody were to come to now, not many sites that we go to in this day and age, like let's go back to YouTube, not many of them have a giant heading in the middle here that says what you are. It says what you are, right? Typically, if you go to a website, let's say Blogger, for instance, right? If you go here, you don't see anything other than search or the logo here, or whatever. But for the sole purpose of just showing you how to do things with text, let's work on that header for a bit. That heading 1. And we can just go heading 1 and we could say text align center. You could say text align center and that'll center it for the entire page. You can say text align right. That'll text it align to the right, and by, of course, default, it is on the left anyway, so you don't really need to say text align left. Now, there are other ways that you can align it in the middle. What you can also do is you can kind of give it a width, and we'll say 500 pixels. And then you can also go margin 0 auto, and what that does is it centers it based off the size of the width that you gave it. So if you say width 200 pixels, it'll sort of squish it and everything like that. Now, if you have it in a div, like margin 0 auto also centers everything, but it's based on the size of the page or the size of the surface area that is. Now, I put a div in there already. Now, if I were to say the div is heading thing, and I were to say that heading thing was a width of 500 pixels, and I were to get rid of this, and I were to say margin 0 auto, that would now be the same thing. But if I were to change the width of the body that it's in, it would change the placement of it, because it's based off of saying margin 0 auto is more or less saying the margin of the surface that it's in. If the surface, so seeing as how we're dealing with a page that's on my computer, over 1,000 pixels, this is 500 pixels margined 0. It's dead center. But in smaller divs, it would be a little bit more to the right, in which case you'd have to shrink it. Now, if you notice, when I said that the width was smaller, I think this kind of plops down to the bottom there. You could do something with the wrapping, and let me see, it would be, what's the keyword again? Sorry, it's just, let me see, it's text wrap. Text, let's see. It is, you see here, like you have all this inline size. So that's one way. So if we were to do like inline size, and we were to do something like this, that just tells it how much space you have within the actual div. It's not gonna, it kind of moves it, but it's not really gonna change anything. But there are, let's see, let's go to word wrap. That's what I was looking for. Word wrap. So if we go to word wrap, right? If we say word wrap, and we say no wrap, was it 2 words or was it dash? No, it's probably 2 words. No, is it 1 word like that? No wrap. If we say no wrap, it's going to just stay like that because we don't want any wrapping. we want it to kind of break down. If we say break word, it might be the same thing. Yeah, see, it stays there because we're breaking the word. Now, if there are other ways of, let me see, where is that? I wanted to show you this. Give me the whole, there we go. Let's go to our where is it? Text. You have, well, that's transforming use. Spacing. Where is the, I was looking at letter spacing. Letter spacing is actually interesting. Let me show you that. Letter spacing puts spacing in the words. I used to use this a lot. And the thing about letter spacing, if you go 5 pixels, it puts space between the letters. But the reason why letter spacing was interesting to me is because you can go negative. Right? And that would actually squeeze it in a little bit more. That was really, I'm glad I reminded myself of that indirectly. But, yeah, we wanted to do text effects. That's what we were looking for. We have stuff like this, right? White space, no wrap, text overflow, clip. No, white space. What white space means is all the, it's all this here. See how it says no wrap? All this white space here, now it will overflow. I can't, my right click doesn't work. Now will overflow the size of the div. So if I said heading thing was 150, it overflows it because we're saying don't wrap the white space. Don't break it. Leave it as is. And if I were to say text overflow clip, what it then does is it's supposed to squeeze it. It's supposed to do that. Let me see. Let me go like this. With 30 pixels, overflow hidden. Overflow is something else we're going to look at when we do text areas. It's actually not overflow. It's actually, see how it cuts it off? It's not actually overflow that I'm looking at. It's resize. But overflow is more like something like this. And then you could do text overflow ellipse. Now, I don't know why you would do this, but it's there. You know, this is all just stuff like you can do stuff like this, like word wrap. Word wrap, let's get rid of this. Let's go word wrap. Break word. And again, like, you know, it doesn't, we didn't make it long enough to do that, but whatever. But, you know, like, there are all these different text effects that you can do to sort of change what's actually visible and everything. But let's do something a little fun. We want this to kind of pop out on us. Let's go with 500 pixels. And let's put some padding, which we haven't really touched up on too much. We've talked about it, but it's not something that we've really seen in its full effect. And let's just say, let's do the margin auto, 0 auto, let's do that. Let's just keep it dead center. And the reason why we're doing this is because let's go with the background. Right? Let's go with background color. And let's do an RGB of, let's make it a little bit more green. And again, you don't have to do RGB, you can do hexadecimal. And let's just do the background image thing of gradients. Let's do a linear gradient. And let's go to right, and let's go RGB, 90, 233, 190. Let's go something that kind of contrasts. Let's go 220, 90, 80, something like that, right? Now the heading thing is going to change, see? But if you notice, the text is still on the left of that div. Now, if we were to go text align, center, now you notice we made kind of a banner, and there's our title. But that's still kind of bland, isn't it? It's just black. I mean, this looks okay. I mean, we could we can dress it up. We can make it, give it a padding of 10, make it a little bit more size to it. We could dress up, say, border. Right? We talked about borders already. Border, 1 pic, solid RGB A, and we'll do like some kind of light, like a grayish, 150, 150, 150, 1.6, so people can kind of see it. And, you know, it's there. You can see it and everything, and it looks okay. But it's not like popping out at you. So instead of doing a border, why don't we do what's called a box shadow? All right? Now, the way box shadows work is that you give it a color. It's almost like a border, but it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more faded. So it looks like a shadow. And not only that, but you can do it one of many different ways. What I usually, there are 4 corners to it. The 1 pix is the depth. Then you do another 2 pix, whatever, which is how much it fades off. Then there's another 2 pix, which is how far out the shadow goes. And then there's the last one that gives you like the actual size of it, more or less. It's something like that. And then we say what the color of it is. Now, typically for me, shadows are black, and I give it a little bit of a less than opaque image, and then there you go, and you have this big ass shadow, but you can tell it's a shadow. Now again, the border you could do, but it's not, it doesn't look like it's coming out this way. You see how the shadow, it's thinner here because we told it to kind of be thinner around the sides and then fade out or fan out. Now you could just go 1 pix, 1 pix, 4 pix to give it less of that border-like look. Wait, hold on. I said. But more, it's kind of just like, it's like this little bit of a shadow. It didn't really change much, so let's make this 2 pix, so that's not as visible. And you can see it's a little bit less obvious, but it's there. And box shadows are a good way to make things kind of stand out. Sorry, I can't clear my throat today. Now, you don't have to put all these in. You could just put like 1 pix box shadow, and it'll just be one uniform thing like this. Like you can barely, like it's not even there. But if you put 1 pix, 2 pix, you see there's a little bit there. And it looks almost like an actual shadow. It's not too faded. Now, you could just do 1 pix, 5 pix, not 25 pix, 5 pix. And then it kind of comes out more towards the bottom, and you can see there's a little bit of a separation. It comes out more towards here, and there's a little bit of a separation. Now, if you were to put another 2 pix here, now it's a little bit more faded. It's kind of covering more. And then if you do that one last one, and you do 1 pix, now it becomes a little bit brighter. But as you can see, it's an effect. There's a little bit more of an effect of a shadow, as if this thing is coming out at you. But it's not just boxes that you can do that with. You can also do that with text. And now if we go H1, let's change the font, because like I said, by default, it's Times New Roman, which is your old-fashioned, come on now, clear the throat, your old-fashioned typewriter type text. Let's change it. Let's go font family, and we're going to go into more detailed font families and stuff like that later on. And we'll do, what are my options again? We have Helvetica. We'll do Arial. We'll do Arial. We'll do Helvetica. We'll do sans serif. I forgot what all the texts are, all the text types are. And now we have this, and it looks a little bit nicer, but it's still kind of plain. As we've mentioned before, we can change the color, which would be the text color. We'll make it a little bit of a whitish color. So we'll go RGB, and we'll go 233, 233, 222. All right, we'll do something like that. And it's a little bit white, but you can also do text shadows. And text shadows are similar to box shadows. Let's start with the basic. Let's just 1 pix RGBA, and we'll go 0, 0, 0, 0.6. You're not going to see much, so let's add another number to it. Now, there are only 3 text shadow numbers. Only three levels. But as you can see now that we added that other level, there's a little bit more pop to it, right? And if you add one more, it's a lot more faded. So now it looks like it's really up there in your face. There are so many different things you can do with box and text shadows. You can have them kind of look like they're inverted if you put negative numbers here. Not all of them have to be negative, but like you could just kind of put negative numbers, and it almost, you can't really see it. Let me get rid of this one. We don't need them for all, actually. We need them. We need to have like some kind of, but you could see it's sort of like up on top of it. There's a way to get it looking like it's inside, so it's kind of being indented or it's kind of being implanted. But let's see, if I go like this and this, let me see if I do a negative here. I forgot where the negative had to be, but it would sort of, it's not there. It would sort of be, it would make it look like it's inverted. That just makes it look like it's bigger on top. How about this? I did it before. I did it years ago, though. That's the problem, is most of the stuff I did years ago. Yeah, that's kind of, that does it on the opposite side, which is okay. Was it this? I don't think it was this. Yeah, no, that's not doing anything. I forgot where I had to put the negative. But you can kind of, actually, let's look it up. CSS invert shadow. Okay, let's just see, blah, 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 blah. I want to get that, that's what I wanted. Inset, okay, so you just had to put inset, that's all. So we would just do inset. Making it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And if you do inset, then it looks like it's being pushed down, you know what I mean? And you could do sort of the same thing with text shadows. You can kind of do a negative here, and then it looks like it's on the other side. You know what I mean? So now, I mean, you don't want to kind of, let's go like this. Let's just put this, no, don't do that. Go back here. Let's put this at 1, let's put this at 5, whatever, whatever, whatever. So it's not so apparent. And, you know, and it looks like it's being pushed in. But these are simple effects and text effects and everything that you can utilize when making like a banner. And as I said, this is more or less like a banner. Let's get rid of this. And if we were to change the degree, the negativity on this, it's kind of on top. So now it looks like it's coming down at you. Put the negative number here. Yeah, and then it looks like it's kind of inside of it. So these are just simple text and background effects that we can use. Gradients. So we've kind of made a banner for ourselves. Now, because the last one was a little short, let's sort of branch this out a little bit more. Let's go, well, let's see, let's go text. Text shadow, invert text shadow. I think it would be the same thing. Like something like that, right? I mean, that looks like an eye chart. You don't want to fucking do that. Like maybe you don't want to do that. But anyway, let's look at all the actual fonts, CSS fonts. let's see what kind of fonts we have. We have serif, sans serif, monospace, fantasy. Fantasy is actually in there? Really? That can't be right. Let's put fantasy in there. Nah, that's not coming out. Let's do fantasy, Arial. I'll let it go. I'm sure that's not going to work. Oh, look at that. It does work. They have fantasy in there? Since when? Oh, shit. Lucida.console. I was looking at the ones that were already a monospace. Oh, they do have Lucida console. Lucida handwriting. Brush script. Oh, I gotta look at this shit. If it's more than one word, put it in quotes. Brush script. What is that? M7. Okay, we gotta take a look at this shit, guys. Oh, no, didn't come out. Are you sure? Is it one word? Copperplate looks pretty good. Actually, no, wait. Brush script M7. Let's not put it in quotes. I think that's just if it's something that... Nope, it's still not working. Shit, that sounded good. Copperplate. Typically, you would, if there was a font that you would get from another source. No, that's not working either. You lied to me. So it's just fantasy. All right. Anyway, let's do... Oh, yeah, I haven't done those. So anyway, we don't have just... Oh, I didn't put a comma in there. Hold on. Nope, still not working. All right, well, we have Arial anyway. We don't just have colors and whatever. We also have text types. Now, I already showed you in HTML how you can do it. In CSS, you can do something called font style. Now, in font style, you could do italic. And that kind of bends it over. You can do, I think, you can do font style bold. And let me just go to font style. Oblique. Oh, well, that's nice. Let's do oblique. Okay. That's what I have in my abs, right? That's just, it's overall, it's kind of like italic. I don't know if I got there. Let's see. Small caps. Oh, that's font variant. We can also do font transformations or text transformations. Font variant. Small caps. That's like this, like it's all caps. You can also do something like text transformation and do uppercase. And it's all uppercase. But one thing that you can do as well is you can go font size. No, not font size. Font size is, well, you can do font size. We'll do font size. We'll say 32 pixels. Now, that's the same thing as if you would pick it on a word processor. It makes it bigger. It makes it 32 pixels. I think on the internet it only goes up to about 40. So if we were to do like 16 pixels for a font size, it would shrink like that. If we were to do like 25, I'm going to have to stop soon because I have to go to the bathroom. I just want to do one more thing. It's up like that. Now, if we wanted to make it bolder, we can go font weight. And we could give it a number. You can give it a number anywhere between 100 and 900. So if you did 100, it would make it nice and thin. If you did 900, it would make it really bold. And if you did anything in between like 400 or something like that, it makes it not so bold. So as you can see, these are things you can do with boxes, shadowing, text shadowing. You can do insets, all that stuff, gradients. So this was pretty fun. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I keep referring to it. It's just there are so many different things that I've forgotten, or so many different things that I didn't even know that it does. But we're going to move forward with some new stuff. I have to go to the bathroom, so I will see you next time.